Should my client sell their house as is? Hey guys, it's Brad from probatehouseguy.com. So who's Probate House Guy? Who's Brad? Who am I? So I am a real estate investor in Metro Atlanta. I specialize in the world of probate and inheritance properties. Been doing it for a number of years, close hundreds of deals, very experienced. And I buy a lot of houses as is, right? Because I'm an investor. But I sell a lot of houses as is. If there's a property, sometimes there's properties that might be in like a really, really desirable neighborhood, and we buy pretty much all of our stuff like off market. So I might buy something off market, and my pipeline might be full. I might have a lot of flips going on, and maybe we'll pick like one property that really doesn't need like a ton of work. Maybe it's like sort of dated, and we will just sell that house as is on the market. We'll clean it out. If you're going to list something out on the retail market, you definitely want to make sure you're cleaning the house out. Don't try to sell it with all the junk in it. If you need referrals to junk removal companies, I got a ton of them I work with. I'd be happy to refer you to the junk removal companies. We use them to just go in and clean the house out for us and get it rolling. It's way easier than getting a dumpster. Although, if you got like a hoarder house, like a big mess, like we had one a few months ago, it was like 5 40-yard dumpsters and 2 dump truckloads full of stuff. It was a lot of stuff. Those houses, it's actually cheaper to get a big like 40-yard dumpster delivered and then pay like laborers to clean it out than it is to do the junk removal stuff. But the smaller jobs, it's cheaper to do junk removal from a time perspective. So anyways, selling a house as is, make sure that you know who your target market is, right? Is this house good for like a DIYer, sort of maybe a new couple, maybe somebody who likes to watch HTV, they want to buy something, put some sweat equity into it, and maybe it needs work, but not like a ton of work, and in which case that might be your target market. Make sure that this house is loanable, right? Think of FHA financing. A lot of these people are going to be FHA financing. And FHA appraisers, inspectors are going to be looking for life and safety issues, right? So make sure that you're paying attention to the life and safety issues, because they are going to call that out on the inspection, and they won't approve this loan until these items are fixed. So there might be some cases where you are selling a house as is for a client, and they might have to make some repairs if these things are called out on an FHA inspection. Because remember, these FHA appraisals sort of stick with the property too. So if you get another FHA buyer coming in after the fact, after these people backed out, that appraisal sticks with the property. So, you can't get out of that. So make sure you're letting your clients know ahead of time that there might be a couple things that they might have to fix just to get the deal done. But just let them know, like, look, we're not giving in to their ATAC and all their different things that they're going to ask to fix, right? Make sure that you're being transparent with your clients up front, and then making sure you understand who your target buyer is for that. I know you're not allowed to advertise that because of fair housing regulations, but most of the time you sort of know, generally speaking, who that buyer for that house is probably going to be based on the neighborhood and based on the type of house it is and the price point. It might be a first-time home buyer price point, that sort of thing. But if you've got a house that needs like a ton of work, and I've seen a lot of realtors make this mistake back right after the housing market sort of shifted back in July, and they had gotten so used to, like, when the market was hot, you could sell anything for anything. Anybody would buy anything. You could sell turds to somebody and they would buy them. Like, that's changed a little bit. So if you are listing a house and you're advertising it to investors, like, is your pricing like in line with what an investor might pay for the property? Because I was looking at some comps the other day down in Atlanta, and we're running comps on this house, and it needed some work, and we were getting like comps in like the 250 sort of range. And all these 250 comps had been rehabbed, like they had been updated, rehabbed, new kitchens, new bathrooms, whatever, all updated, right? There'd been some money put into them, new carpet, new paint, whatever. And we saw this house down the street that was listed like as is, and it was listed for like $240,000. And you look at the days on market, and it was like 120 days on market. Now, obviously, I understand sometimes it's the client that's pressuring you to sell the house for this certain price, and you know that it's not going to sell. But then I should ask you this question: why are you, as the agent, wasting your time with this listing if you know it's not going to sell at that price? Like, why are you wasting your time with this listing? So I saw this house and I was like, yeah, they're never going to sell that to an investor, because all these houses, I can look at them and all these people have put $50,000 to $75,000 into these houses to rehab them. And this particular house down the street, they're asking 10 grand less than all the rehabbed comps. It's like, that ain't gonna fly. So make sure you understand who that target market is that's gonna be buying the house. If it is an investor, make sure you're pricing it appropriately and making sure that you're letting your clients know up front, like, hey, investors are probably gonna come in with some offers that might be lowball. They're gonna come in this sort of range here. Because they're investors, they got to make money. Like, I can't tell you how many times we've gotten people who have reached out to us directly from our website and said, hey, I want to sell you my house. And, you look at the comps in the neighborhood and they're all selling for 300. And the people are like, yeah, my neighbor sold his house for 300. His was updated. Mine needs work. And we look at it and we're like, yeah, yours probably needs like $50,000 worth of work. And they're like, great, I'll take $250 for it. And I'm like, okay, so if I can sell it for 300 and you want 250 and I have to put 50 into it, how am I supposed to make any money in that case? And in that case, I would actually lose money on that transaction. Why would I do that? Why would anyone do that? So make sure that you're being real with yourself, being real with your client, making sure your client understands expectations up front. So I know this video is kind of long, but I've got a lot of experience in selling things as is, buying things as is, not doing repairs, making subtle repairs, blah, 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 blah. So if you're new to this realm and you just want to call me and ask me some questions about it, I'd be happy to help you out with that. If you do have a client that's got a probate, inheritance property, really any property for that matter, that they want to sell as is, they don't want to mess with it, you want to get an off-market cash offer from an investor, just sell it as is, be happy to make you an offer. I'll pay you your commission on it. I'm a realtor too, so I don't even take, typically when I do those types of sales, and I've got some realtors that I can, give you their name and say, hey, I bought houses through them. I pay their commission, right? I don't take a commission when I buy houses for myself, like to flip. So don't count on the 3%. So you can even tell your client, like, hey, I'm only going to charge you 3% because this investor here is not taking a commission on this sale. So let me know if you want me to buy it. I'd be happy to do that. So thanks again for checking out this video. I hope it helps you out. Again, I'm Brad with probatehouseguy.com. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.